Hello, my friends. I am the Tenkaichi of gaming, and I never thought I'd find myself doing a little rant video on something that has been in the news for quite some time. And it's about something that I hardly ever pay attention to, but it has something to do with me because I live in the very place in which most of the hustle and bustle actually goes on in America, and that is, I live in California. And being that I live in California, I live in Los Angeles. So therefore, there's a whole lot of hustle and bustle where I live. And, of course, way off in the distance, on a good day, I can see Hollywood. The Hollywood sign, rather. But yes, this rant video, or lack thereof, or rather a message that I want to share amongst you out there, is simply about what's been really happening within Hollywood. Now, I know that there has been some talk about a movie that has been taken down because of North Korea. And most of the people have been quite appalled by this. I have my own point of view about the entirety of the subject. So, hopefully it is respected as I am telling you why of these thoughts that I'm about to tell you is the reason why I'm thinking of it. So, first off, I know about the movie called The Interview, in which sort of takes place in North Korea and all that. I know it was supposed to be something of a parody of sorts. And I can say, pretty much, we live in an age in which, well, everything is so damnable fragile. And we live in a place in which we can share our thoughts and ideas. We have the right to use our freedom of speech, thoughts of expression, and whatnot. Now, I can understand this. We have been living in the shadow of 9/11 for so long that we forgot how to use such freedoms. I'm sorry, but it's not America. It's America. America. The United States of America. Consider, if you will, this picture of the Avengers. The original Avengers. Consider that we of the gamer community represents the Avengers. We have our own personal shadow of an Avenger that we sort of resemble. We live in that shadow, which is our persona, and therefore that is who we represent. Now, mind you, I can see why they did it, but I can't see why they did it. And I'm going to point something out. As I said before, we live in a very fragile age. Most people in which they say, oh, it's going to be the end of this, the end of that, blah, blah, this and that. Well, we're still here. And we're still standing. Now, I know this land has been haunted by the shadow of 9/11 for far too long, and it needs to stop. I know what you're thinking. Why are you saying that? Well, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. That is true. But if we allow such a thing as fear to manipulate us, and I don't mean in this situation, but in any precipice of life that we come upon individually or as a group, we are going to get affected by it, whether it be directly or indirectly. Now, I can understand, a parody is more likely hit and miss. But when people somehow take offense to it, then yes, there's a time to step back. There's a time that, now's not a good time to do this. With everything that is supposedly hinging on the balance of sane to borderline criminally insane, I think it's in the best judgment that, first off, the people need to calm the fuck down. It's about the same thing as, like, any other situation that's happening now. Like, not with just this movie that just happened called The Interview, but, what's happening around our very country. We have violence happening. Unadulterated, unneeded, uncalled for violence. And I had to say, there's a line that has to be drawn, or it needs to be redrawn, as it were, because every day that we somehow read in the news, we hear about what the police are doing and this and that, and me, I do not like reading bad news. Especially if it's on the Facebook feed. I hate reading about bad news. I hate looking at bad news. Even though it is news, I don't want to read about it. It's something I don't want to share, personally. I do not want to share about anybody getting killed or, suicide or anything like that. To me, that's not what I am. I do not like sharing any bad news. I only focus on, things that are happening. Things that are making progress instead of holding us back for years and years. Well, actually, holding us back a few more years than normally. Because, yeah, we still have a lot of problems to deal with. We still have racism. We still have prejudice. And it's time we get a culture shock. Yeah, we're the same people. Nothing has changed. Time may have changed, but there are some people who don't change. I'm one of those many people who can express the change, accept the change, and somewhat be with this change. But only if it benefits the future. If it doesn't benefit the future, then it's not worth it. I know for a fact that everywhere you go, a lot is happening. Whether it be violence, whether it be crime, whether it be some kind of temporal bullshit that happens on the streets, in our own neighborhoods. or even as we speak, somewhere overseas. It's bad enough that we have so many problems happening outside our own neck of the woods. Now, I'm not saying, oh, we should stop. Oh, we should do this. Oh, we should do that. It is, in my judgment, and in my own jurisdiction, that A, I can only talk about it. B, the only way I can make a change is that if one person, by the sound of my voice, who can actually, even if it's one person or two people or how many people, as long as the awareness is there, I've done my job. If somebody wants to share this video, then by all means, please do. The thing is, even though I may be into comic books, video games, anime, and the like, I'm not away from the real world. I live it every day. Hell, I'm an author. I have to live it every day. That means I'm among the people. That means, if need be, that I had to do something like, say, a book signing event or something like that. I'm among it. I'm among society. I cannot turn my back from society. I can become part of it, but I won't be within it. I observe these things. I observe these things like almost on a daily basis. Like, I'll give an example about last night. Last night I went to McDonald's for dinner. Or rather, I went to McDonald's for lunch. Stayed there till, like, say, 5, borderline 6 o'clock. I leave. I'm halfway there. I'm about, like, maybe a block away from my house. And I see about 6 police cars. 6 police cars going at full speed a few blocks away from where I'm going home. And mind you, it's away from my house. I hear the chopper, it's right over an old building, an old section of where I am. And it's on my walking route. It's on my walking route to, say, going to Yoshinoya or CVS, something like that. But it's right above a school. Anyway, there's something happening, possibly a crime, and I do not want to be part of it. Even though I'm pretty sure that possibly something happened. It's not much in the news because it's inner city, and rarely do inner city crimes actually do get some kind of attention out of that. But that's not the point. The point is that we shouldn't be talking about things higher than we, like, oh, we have to talk about God, we have to talk about faith and everything. That's fine and that's dandy. But we do have to face reality. The reality is, our land is so messed up. It's like the human body. If there is some kind of disease that has just wormed itself inside the nervous system, then it's only a matter of time until the body just happens to give up and corrodes and implode upon action and pretty much die. America right now has this disease, and it's from and it's from all the years that has been put up that America had to put up with. We had to put up with corruption. We putting up with violence, death, and in power. Because pretty much that's what it seemed like. It seemed like America is breaking up within itself. And it's only one part of it. And like I said, since I live here in California, Hollywood is not that far off from where I live. It's like a few hours off, but it's not that far off from where I live because I can see it on a good day. While I'm walking, I can see it on a good day. The point is, no matter where you live, whether you are overseas or in the States itself, the problems we have with this world, that cannot be ignored. We've been living with these problems for years and years. It's gone out of control, and grown out of control, I should add. And as I said, I'm not here to play judge. I'm here for awareness, because that's what I do on my channel. I make people become aware. I help people become aware of the games that I play, or whatever I've read or seen, within my own free time and spare time. Hell, even playing off camera, something that I've actually played, I share that and just say, hey, this is a good game, this is a crap game, this is whatever, I can tell you why. But it's all for mainly awareness. So I can only say that as far as I know, that we need to be very careful on what we do, especially in the social media world. The social media world, you're dealing with not just one part of a network, but you're dealing with the entire world. So, yeah, my thoughts on that, what we might see as humor in one form, in another form, it might be considered as character assassination. That's what it is. I feel that this movie has done some indirect character assassination. And regardless of how it's shown, or what reference it's being shown as, character assassination, that's something that is pretty much, you should never do. It's a nasty practice. And I advise that, don't go as far as you should, in the form of how people need to be treated. I mean, some people might see Obama as a threat, while other people see Kim Jong-il as a threat. And, that's basically on how people look at it. That's on personal preference. But in the case of this, character assassination is something. Ooh, I have no words to express how dangerous character assassination can really be. Because as far as I know, there has to be some kind of respect. And no matter what, respect is always going to be priority number one. Respect for the land, respect for the people, respect for culture, and respect for differences. I say this because it is important that it needs to be said. I mean, I'm a Let's Player, yes. I have certain things I like to watch when I'm online. It's alright for me not to care about those that I just don't find entertaining to me. That's a matter of opinion, and I'm welcome to it. However, I still respect what they're doing. So as long as the mutual respect is there, then there should be no problems. So, I'm going to end this video on this note that we should not only carry ourselves with pride and I had to say this is probably one of the most thought-provoking videos I've ever thought about. This is one of these thought-provoking videos that has ever been laid upon me since it's been laying in my head for the longest time. It's been stirring in my head for the longest time. But as I said before, it has to be with respect. You cannot go about doing things that you should do just because you have, the freedom to do this, the freedom to do that. There's a line with that freedom. And that line should never be crossed. That means you shouldn't say a damn thing which you know nothing about. And even if you do know something about it, it is best to exercise silence. Whatever happens out there in Hollywood, that's on them. I just had to share my 2 cents to the world about it in my own neck of the woods. And that had to be said. So, we all have to exercise respect. Our pride and integrity. That's the word I was looking for, integrity. Be proud that you are living among a land in which you can say what you feel and how it affects you. The internet is one of those great boons that we should not take for granted. Because in this day and age, most people are just, fooling around, being dumbasses, showing off themselves in selfie format, and we're being overrun by overused memes, and the jokes aren't even that funny. But that's something for another time. I have been the Tenkaichi of gaming and Otaku, Ichigo Musko, aka PI7. And I will see you next time for more videos. So until then, take care. God bless. Tenkai Muso. And be safe out there.